What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Godspeed ZRZ. Now today, as the weather's warming up and obviously we're either getting into or already into the top off, doors off weather, today I wanted to go over the top 5 things you need to know before you go riding or before you plan on going on a ride with your top or doors off. So as you guys know, if you already followed the channel, we have the Rubicon 392 here, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out and we're gonna take off the doors and we'll go ahead and jump right into the top 5 things you need to know. So for reason number 1, it should be pretty obvious and pretty apparent. Just like the roller coaster rides, keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. But unlike the roller coasters, this one is a little bit more of a gray matter. So more times than not, you should keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times, but there are quite a few different occasions that allow you the freedom of really getting the maximum experience of the open air capabilities. Just like keeping your foot out with the foot pegs or sticking your hand up through the top or out the side to wave. Of course, if you're driving down the road at higher speeds with the big tires, you don't necessarily want to just stick your head out. A gravel could throw up and hit you out in the head. It's happened to me in the arms many times. So there's a lot of other things that you should be aware of whenever you have your doors off, like environmental factors and your speed. But there are certain occasions that definitely allow you to stick your hands out, arms and feet, whatever the case may be. But more times than not, whenever you are on the road at especially highway or operating speeds, you should definitely keep your hands and feet inside. Now, reason number 2, either you swear by it or you'll die by it. It's just the seatbelt. It's something as simple as just pulling it over and clicking it in. And I'll be the first to admit, there have been many occasions and many times growing up that I decided not to wear it, especially with having the doors off. But I will say more times than not, anytime I plan on doing something stupid, I did always put the seatbelt on. Now I've learned at this point, if I'm gonna take the doors off especially, might as well go ahead and just put the seatbelt on. That is definitely tip number 2. You'll be glad you did whenever you go around a curve just a little too fast. Number 3 is something that we all probably think of, but it's not something that we always do. It's something as simple as just pulling out your phone and checking the forecast. I can't tell you how many times in the past I've skipped that simple step, and that has led to many eventful trips in my Jeeps in the past. Since then, I always check the weather forecast. I even check it for the next couple days to see if any rain's gonna come in, see what kind of weather I'll be facing. And even something as simple as knowing if you need a jacket on the way home from work by the time it gets dark. Checking the weather is always a great thing to do if you're gonna go for a ride in anything like this Jeep with the doors or the top off. And for number 4, one of the things that is often overlooked is just your basic essentials for the open air environment. Of course, whenever I go out on a ride in the Jeep Wrangler, like if I was to leave right now and I was to head out down the road maybe an hour or so, by the time I was to come back, it would definitely be dark by then, and the temperature would have dropped by maybe up to 30 degrees. So you always want to bring a jacket, and maybe 2 if you're going to have anyone riding with you, just so they don't have to go through that horrible cold ride like everyone's been through. And then you always want to prepare for whatever day you're having. Of course, if you're going to have a long day out in the sun, then maybe you should bring some sunblock. If you're going to have a long day out in the dust, definitely bring some water and maybe a rag. But just be sure to make a plan and prepare for it, and you should be good to go. And of course, for number 5, one thing you've always got to remember once you take the doors and the top off is going to be your storage. So for storage on the Wranglers, the best advice I have, even for the Gladiators, if you don't have an actual lock box or if you don't have a lock and tailgate and cover on the Gladiator, my best advice would be to get rid of the valuable items from the vehicle or lock them up in a safe space, especially if you're going to be parking in an unsecure spot for a long period of time. You might as well just stick a sign out that says, "Come and get me." It's basically like just having a soft top. A Jeep may cost a little more and have a few extra steps to really enjoy, but man, it is hard to beat.
Beats.